Valley Talk on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Valley Talk. It's also Real Estate Talk right here on 1580. And I am happy to be here this Thursday morning. It's a little chilly out there, but I didn't have to scrape the ice off my windows, which always makes it a good day for me. I look back some days, I scrape the ice off my windows, and I remember I used to live in Hawaii, and it makes me want to go. But I'm a warm guy. I'm a solar-powered kind of a guy. But again, it is a beautiful, if slightly cloudy, chilly Thursday morning here in beautiful Albany. We are broadcasting live this Thursday morning from the KGAL K-Show studio at the old library building, the home of Silver Falls Dermatology. It is 11:07, give or take, right now. Are you hungry? It's almost lunchtime. If you're hungry, you want to taste on us. That's a $10 Quiznos gift certificate for the first person this hour to email dave@kgal.com and mention Taste on Us. That Quiznos gift certificate is for the Albany Quiznos store. Yum-o. And that's Dave Adams. That's not me. So go ahead and send that email to Dave right now. Today, I have kind of a full day for you, I hope. There was one listener question we had last week that I didn't quite find time to be able to get in, so I'll answer that today. I want to share with you some predictions for the housing market in 2013, and these are the predictions from Dave Liniger. Dave Liniger is the chairman and co-founder of RE/MAX RE/MAX International. He put out a video earlier this week sharing his predictions for 2013, and I'd like to share that with you this morning. And finally, yesterday, I spent the day in Salem with some friends of mine, Ray Hiltz, Jim Johnson, and Amy Price, as well as about 30 other county clerks, county assessors, and members of other county boards of property tax appeals from around the state. We were getting training for this year's cycle for property tax appeals. I get to sit on that board this year again, so I'd like to share some information with you about your property taxes, the way that they're calculated in terms of market value, and a little bit about the appeal process. But before we do that, let's do the real estate showcase. Two homes in the showcase today. One is an active listing. The other is a pocket listing that's not quite ready to be on the market yet. The first is 1048 Key Street in Lebanon. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. It's in great condition, 1,136 square feet, spread out through a comfortable living room. It's actually a great room with a dining area right into an island kitchen. Vinyl sliding door into a nicely sized fenced backyard. This is just a really nice deal in a very hot Lebanon price range, listed at $135,000. It's a nice home. It's a nice neighborhood. It's a nice price. 1048 Key Street in Lebanon. My next listing, again, it's a pocket listing, so I can't give you the address, but it's in Millersburg. It is just under an acre, and on that just under an acre sits a manufactured home right around 1,570 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. Inside has recently been painted. I think they're updating carpet, or at least they're going to be doing a carpet allowance, I think. There's also a well. It's a well water city sewer. So there's a well, and the well house is really cool. It's a big building. It's much bigger than it needs to be, but it's also got kind of a little work area in there with its own bathroom. So that's a nice feature. And then a huge, huge shop, big enough to park trailers in, lots of work. It's probably I think like a 10 by 20, 10 by 30 shop. And that list price is going to be somewhere around $169,000. That should be coming on the market soon. So if that is something that interests you, again, manufactured home on just under an acre, big shop, plus a little shop where the well house is, give me a call or contact me right here at Real Estate Talk. We have some other new listings coming up, and we will showcase them for you next week. But for now, that's the Real Estate Showcase for the 17th day of January, 2013. If you'd like more information for any of our participating homes, send me an email at realestatetalk@kgal.com. KGAL.com. You can also go to the Facebook fan page, and that's facebook.com/Real Estate Talk on KGAL. Lots of good information there. I try to share information with you all on a regular basis. I put the market statistics there when I do them. We post, I've been posting the audio there from the show after it airs on Saturday. And again, this show will be rebroadcast Saturday morning. But if you want that information, again, you can always contact me by email at realestatetalk@kgal.com. But go to the Facebook fan page, check it out, like the page, and lots of good information is there again for you. If you are not currently working with a real estate professional and you would like a market analysis done on a property, and that's whether you're looking to buy or to sell, send me the address and I will provide you a market analysis at absolutely zero obligation. It's good information. It is powerful to have information in any real estate market, but having that information helps you to make good decisions. I will give you the information at no obligation, and certainly I would like to be on your team. If you want an agent that's 100% on your side, that's my commitment. I only work with one client in any real estate negotiation, so you can call me or send me an email today. Finally, if you're interested in starting the home buying process, there's a greit resource out there, Willamette Neighborhood Housing Services, www.nhs.org. It's an exceptional class. It's about an 8-hour day, and it walks you through the entire process from preparing to buy financially through the shopping process, inspections, financing, just the whole gamut is really covered. And the buyers who I have worked with who have gone through that class have been so much better prepared to face the housing market when they finish it. They've made good decisions, they're educated, and it's just a joy to work with them, which is why if you're not working with another real estate agent, and that's the only criteria, if you're working with another real estate agent, I encourage you to talk to them about this. But if you're not working with another real estate agent and you want to take that class and get started, email me here, let me know the date you've signed up for, and I will pay the course fee for you. I will pay that $45 tuition for you because I think it is powerful, I think it is helpful, and I think it is a great way to get started in the housing market. Willamette Neighborhood Housing Services also does have some other courses, some other resources for you. There's a foreclosure prevention class that they are putting on that's going to be coming up here later in January. You can sign up for that if you think foreclosure is at your door. And that, again, Willamette Neighborhood Housing is www.w-nhs.org. They have some Am I Ready to Buy, which is an hour and a half, 2-hour class. So lots of good resources, lots of good information. I urge you to check that out. Okay, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about property taxes. I'm going to answer one listener question that's a holdover from last week. And then I've got a clip from Dave Liniger and his top 10 housing market predictions for 2013. And we'll talk about all of that here in the next 45 minutes of Real Estate Talk. This is Real Estate Talk on 1580 KGAL. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity.
The Mennonite Village In-Home Care Program has another happy client.
Hi, my name is Melinda Moore, and I'm happy to be able to share my experiences with in-home care at the Mennonite Village. My mom, Margaret Kirk, moved to Albany about 7 years ago when she was 87. From that time until today, the in-home caregivers at Mennonite Village have been just crucial. She started out just needing someone once a week, and then as time's gone on and she's become less mobile, they've become an absolute crucial part of her both physical and emotional well-being. We couldn't get along without them. She's with them 24 hours a day. They work with the family so much that we feel like they're part of our family, and they've become my mom's very best friends. I could not say enough things about in-home care and would recommend them at any level for anybody.
Contact Sue Curry for more information at 541-928-2136 or visit MennoniteVillage.org.
Here's something to sing about. The crabs are here. Live crabs in the tank at Harry and Annette's Fresh Fish in Corvallis. Every day can be a crab feast at your house. All it takes is to stop at Harry and Annette's. While you're there, get your order in for the big sports parties coming up. Annette's party trays, crab cakes, and other specialties will make any party a winner. Don't wait. The crabs are in the tank and waiting for you. Harry and Annette's Fresh Fish, First in Monroe in the Water Street Market in downtown Corvallis.
The 4th Annual Community Crab Feed and Charity Auction, sponsored by the Corvallis Knights of Columbus, will be at 5 p.m. February 16th at the Benton County Fairgrounds. Some charities that are supported by this event are Lynn Benton Food Share, the Mario Pastega House, Oregon Special Olympics, Stone Soup, and many more. Get your tickets at communitycrabfeed.com. Tickets are $35 each and sales will close February 9th. There are a limited number of seats, so visit communitycrabfeed.com and get your tickets today.
Buying or selling real estate can leave you with a lot of questions.
Should you offer less than full price? Can you now go back and accept the original counteroffer? Your realtor asks you how much earnest money you intend to put down. Should you hire a real estate agent when you're starting out your search for a home?
Dave Pautsch has the answers, only on Real Estate Talk.
We're live every Saturday talking about what's actually going on in the market here.
Real Estate Talk, Saturday mornings at 10 on 1580 KGAL.
A good web page is a must sales tool for today's businesses. Sandy M Communications will put together an efficient, thorough web page that is right for your business. Sandy M Communications knows how to bring customers to your door and your phone. Call them at 541-223-7444. Put Sandy M Communications to work for you. Call them at 541-223-7444 or visit sandymcommunications.com.
You can call us Lefty or you can call us Righty. We just call it Smarty Talk on 1580 KGAL.
Welcome back to Real Estate Talk. I'm your host, Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. Real Estate Talk is your only resource on local radio, and I underscore the word local radio for real estate information right here in Oregon's Mid-Willamette Valley. We are always here on Saturdays, but as today, we get to spend a couple of Thursdays a month in the Valley Talk time slot. If you've missed a show, if you're looking for information about real estate market trends, www.kgal.com, click on the link for Real Estate Talk. Lots of files there for you, real estate statistics going back all the way to January 2007. There is an archive of some of the audio files from past shows, and we are now starting to post those through YouTube, and they're also on the Facebook fan page, and I think you can still get a link to them at the KGAL site. So last week, I did listener questions, one of my favorite segments to do, but there was one question I didn't have time to get to, and I'd like to catch up on that first thing this morning. And this question comes from T in Lebanon. We just paid $375 for a home inspection on the house we're buying. Once the repairs are finished, how do we verify those repairs are done correctly? Well, T, that is a great question. The answer, as always, is it depends. So let me talk a little bit about it. If the items are pest and dry rot issues, and you have an FHA, USDA, or VA loan, you will probably need to actually have the inspector go back out and re-inspect those items to give you a clear pest and dry rot report so that you can get that back to your lender to have them fund the loan. Now, the cost of a re-inspection depends on the inspector. I know there are some inspectors out there who include the cost of the re-inspection in their original fee, or they don't charge a re-inspection fee. I know others that charge somewhere between $50 and $100, depending on what they're having to go re-inspect. So one of these inspectors, as a matter of fact, they charge a nominal fee, but if they have to go back in the crawl space, they go up to the next level of fee. And personally, I don't blame them, because I hate going down in crawl spaces because there are spiders down there and I don't want to go. So that's kind of the view. But plan on between $50 and $100 if you want the inspector to go out and re-inspect it. So again, if it's pest and dry rot issues and your loan program requires a clean P&D, hiring an inspector is probably the way that you have to go. But if that's not the case, you may still want to have the inspector go back out. To me, again, it's generally money well spent because you're going to sleep better at night knowing that the repairs were done. But there are other options. And one option is to get copies of invoices from the licensed contractors who performed the work. In your repair addendum, your agent may very well have said, have a licensed contractor do XYZ. This assumes that the seller actually had a licensed contractor do the work, and then you see that invoice come from them, that they've performed the work, what they've performed. You can have some level of confidence as a buyer that the work was done correctly. That it was done at all, that it was done correctly, and that you may have some recourse later if there is a problem. Most licensed contractors provide at least some sort of warranty or will stand behind their work. Finally, and again, this depends on the repair, and it also depends on your level of expertise. You can go view it yourself. There are some things that it's quite easy to go, yep, that was done. One of them, very common, is installing seismic straps on a water heater. 2 straps, one at the top, one at the bottom. If you can walk in the house and go, yeah, they weren't there before, they're there now, check, done. Repair to a window. That window was cracked, now it's not cracked, check, done. So there are some things that don't necessarily require intimate knowledge of the building code or contractor level expertise to be able to physically verify for yourself that it was fixed. So if those are the types of repairs you're looking at, and only those, then certainly go back, walk through the house, check off the list. But if it requires something going up on the roof, down in the crawl space, either go the contractor invoice way if you have that, or have the inspector go back out and re-inspect. The cost is between, again, depending on the inspector, free to about $100. So I hope that answers the question, and again, I apologize for not getting to that last week for you. Okay, moving on. Yesterday, I spent the day in Salem, and I was in a training session for the Board of Property Tax Appeals. I am again sitting on the Lynn County Board this year. We'll be convening next month to review petitions from Lynn County taxpayers who think they have been assessed or are going to be paying too much property taxes for their property. There's always a lot of confusion about this, and when we actually sit on the board and have the petitioners come in to explain things, there's always a lot of confusion about the way it works, and the terminology is a little confusing. So I want to talk about it this morning, and I apologize to you that I really probably should have done this segment in November, because the window for filing your petition for the board runs from when the tax statements come out in October through midnight on the 31st of December. So if you want to appeal your taxes, you had to have submitted the paperwork for your appeal by December 31st. Now, it does say that on your tax statement, but again, I should have talked about this then. And I will make sure next year we bring the subject up probably in October, November to at least get you thinking about it, whether it's something you should be paying attention to. So a lot of people think they're paying too much in taxes, and in some cases you might be. I think there were quite a number of cases where we reduced last year. But first of all, I want to take some time to define some of the terms that you need to understand if you're looking at your tax statement and trying to decide if you're paying too much on taxes. So here's the 3 different values that you will see on your tax statement for your property. There is RMV, or real market value. There is the maximum assessed value, or MAV, and then there is the assessed value, or AV. So you'll see those 3 numbers, RMV, MAV, and AV, on your tax statements. Understanding these 3 numbers, you can determine whether or not you have a reasonable need or a reasonable case to appeal your taxes, and it is in these numbers that you would focus your appeal. So we'll start with real market value, RMV. RMV is a snapshot of the property as of 1 January the year prior. So for the tax statement that you received in November 2012, and you are paying your taxes ahead through June 30th, 2013, the assessment date for the property was 1 January 2012. Okay, are you confused yet? That's the way it works. Remember, property taxes in Oregon run the 1st of July through the 30th of June. You pay your taxes ahead. Tax bills come out in October. They are due and payable in November. But the assessment date is January the year before. So it's actually in the previous tax year. It is a snapshot in time on that date on which your taxes are based. Okay? That RMV is based on January 1st, in this case 2012. That value is generated by the county assessor's office, and it is based on their mass appraisal and assessment formulas. It is not based 100% on property visits. Although they do on-site visits, they don't visit every property every year. They have some sort of a schedule, and I really can't speak to the nuts and bolts of what the county assessors do. I can tell you I was very impressed with the way that they handle themselves, their professionalism, when I sat on the board last year. But suffice it to say, for the purpose of this discussion, they make their assessments in value, and again, as of in this tax year, January 1st, 2012. The RMV is created when the taxes roll in October. So that number theoretically represents what a ready, willing, and able buyer will pay for a property being purchased from a typically motivated seller in an open market at an arm's length transaction. Okay? That's the RMV, the real market value. Now, the maximum assessed value, or MAV, is a little bit different, and it comes from Measure 50. In 1997, Measure 50 established the concept of a maximum assessed value in Oregon. So for homes built prior to 1997, it is the starting point for your tax valuation formula. They took a percentage of what the tax snapshot was in 1997. They started at a number lower than that valuation point, and they set it to increase every year based on a formula. Now, for homes built after 1997, the starting point for your first assessment is the first assessment after it was built. So if your house was built in September 2006, then your assessment date is January 1st, 2007. It would have been assessed for the tax year paying ahead. Now, the maximum assessed value goes up 3% each and every year, unless in any given year the real market value is lower than the maximum assessed value, in which case the maximum assessed value stays the same. Is that confusing? I apologize if it is, because I can't show you a graphic. I will try to explain it. So bear with me. Picture in your mind a graph with two lines. The first line is a red line. That's the MAV. And picture that line going up. It's a straight line on a linear basis, straight line at 3% per year. Okay? The other line is the RMV, and we're going to say that's a green line, and that's a little more random. It kind of goes up and down. It goes up and down with the market, the 1st of January every year, that real market value. Independent lines, independent of each other, except if there is a year when the market goes down and that real market value line goes below that red line that's going up at 3% per year, that red line will be a flat line. For every year that the real market value is below the line of the maximum assessed value will not grow. It will stay dead flat. It doesn't go up. But it remains flat, and it remains flat every year that the market value, the real market value, is lower. Now, if the market value again goes above that line, then that red line will go up at 3%. So here's another way to look at it. Your home was initially valued at $100,000. Its MAV, its maximum assessed value in 2007, was $100,000. The RMV, the real market value, was $115,000. So the next year, the maximum assessed value would be 3% higher, or $103,000. The RMV would be whatever the market, the assessor's office, determined. Let's say the market was declining slightly and it was $112,000. In the following year, the market drops dramatically. The RMV is now $99,000 as determined by the assessor. Your maximum assessed value would remain at $103,000 because the market value is below the maximum assessed value. So for the next 3 years, the market continues to fall. Real market value stays below the maximum assessed value. Maximum assessed value remains at $103,000. And when the market bounces back and the market value rises above that threshold, then that maximum assessed value would again go up at 3%. So why does all this matter? Let's take a break, and when we come back, I'll explain it to you. This is Real Estate Talk on KGAL.
The Osgood File, sponsored in part by Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit AutoOwners.com. This is Charles Osgood. Would you be good at butling? What's that, you ask? Butling is what butlers do. Would you like to have a butler? Who wouldn't? Our CBS News colleague Charlie Daggett in London tells us they're much in demand right now.
But it's specifically the British butler that the super rich are demanding. A surge apparently down to the Downton Abbey effect.
This is Carson. We'd all be lost without him.
If you'll be so kind as to wait, Mr. Daggett, I will be back with you momentarily. I have 5 kids and 3 grandkids, and of course they all get sick now and again. But taking a temperature is now easier than ever thanks to the Exergen Temporal Scanner thermometer. All you have to do is scan the forehead, and you get a fast, accurate reading every single time. In fact, it's so accurate that thousands of hospitals and clinics use it too. So say goodbye to those old, uncomfortable, and slippery thermometers. Say hello to the Exergen Temporal Scanner thermometer, changing the way the world takes temperature. Available at Rite Aid and other fine retailers. In this moment, who has your back? An insurance company delivering excellence during your claims process? Auto Owners Insurance has been recognized as highest in customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience 5 years in a row by J.D. Power and Associates. Let an Auto Owners independent insurance agent have your back, so when the unthinkable happens, you get the claim service you deserve. For J.D. Power and Associates award information, go to jdpower.com. Find your local independent agent at autoowners.com. Most of us Americans have never even seen a butler, except in the movies or on TV, says Charlie Daggett.
Bruce Wayne's Batman has one.
Master Wayne? You rang.
The Addams family would have been lost without Lurch.
At one time, of course, everybody who was anybody in Britain had a butler.
Exact numbers don't exist, but back in the 1930s, it's thought there were around 30,000 butlers in service in Britain. That fell to about 100 in the 1980s. Today, there are thought to be around 10,000. But that number is now going through the roof, with many butlers going abroad for the best pay and perks.
By the way, what is the pay?
A good butler can make upwards of $200,000 a year, plus fringe benefits like living in the lap of luxury, or next to it anyway.
And who's doing the hiring?
Recruitment agencies say demand for the British butler is being driven by the new money elite in China, Russia, and the Middle East.
They all want their butlers to be very British.
Grant Harold knows a thing or two about Britishness. He used to be a butler for Prince Charles.
What does it take to be a butler? You've got to be able to be loyal to the person. Loyal, trustworthy, and discreet.
Don't you agree, Carson?
I do, my lady.
That would be all, Carson. The Osgood File. Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
The Calipoolia Brewing Company in Albany has the finest handcrafted brews in the valley. Available in their pub, kegs, and half-gallon chugs. Live music 3 nights a week, the best beer, the best burgers, and sandwiches in Albany. Owners Mark and Laura invite you once again to the Calipoolia Brewing Company as they host the 14th Annual Greater Albany Rotary Club Crab Fest Dinner, Saturday, February 2nd from noon till 8 p.m. Tickets available at Calipoolia Brewing Company, 140 Hill Street Northeast in Albany. See you there.
Does your business thrive by serving other businesses? Would you like a healthy, steady flow of B2B leads that are customized to grow sales? Hoover's has developed a best-in-class lead generation tool that makes it easy for you to find targeted leads for your business. You'll be amazed at how easy it is to get the right leads fast. Try it today for free. Get 50 free leads and a 24-hour trial. Call 800-350-HOOVERS. 800-350-HOOVERS. 800-350-HOOVERS.
Frank, can you read the grocery list back to me?
Sure. We got Samsung, Panasonic, Sony, LG.
I'm pretty sure I wrote ham, cheese, eggs, and asparagus.
Yep, that's what I said. Got it right here. What?
Big screen TVs on the brain? Get to Sears before the game. Shop Your Way Rewards members save $120 on the 50-inch LCD TV, only $479.99. This is the ultimate football experience. This is Sears. Offer ends 1/19/13. Prices may vary in Alaska and Hawaii. Members earn points on qualifying purchases, subject to terms at shopyourway.com.
From PCs to the internet, Kim Commando has the answers. Saturday mornings on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
Welcome back to Real Estate Talk. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. So we're talking this morning right now about property taxes. And in the previous segment, I explained maximum assessed value and real market value and how they kind of relate to each other. And I left the segment with why does all this matter? Well, your assessed value, which is the third number, the AV on your tax statement, is the value upon which your taxes are actually based. Okay, that's the valuation that they assess your taxes on. And the AV is the lower of either the RMV or the MAV. So again, if you think back to that chart that I was trying to describe for you to see in your mind with my magical words, okay, I'm kidding. It's your tax assessment is based on the lower of those two numbers, RMV or MAV. So if you think you're paying too much in property taxes and you want to appeal, look at the real market value and the maximum assessed value on your tax statement. If the real market value is lower than the market assessed value, the next question becomes whether or not you believe the actual market value is even lower than that number. Okay, if your real market value is higher than the maximum assessed value, the question now is not only whether the RMV is lower than what your statement says, but is it lower than the maximum assessed valuation number? Okay, only in those cases will you actually see a change reflected in the taxes that you pay this year. And remember, we are kind of at the bottom of the market, and the market is actually starting to rebound. So if that RMV number, that market value number, hasn't gone down, it's probably going to start going back up. Now, the Board of Property Tax Appeals deals most exclusively with that real market value number. That's the number that you are appealing. The maximum assessed value is constitutionally established, and that formula is held, and that's not going to change unless one of two things happen. One, there's a change to the property, which can affect what's called an exception. So changes to the property might affect that number, or if you get an appeal that goes to the magistrate, it may affect that number. Now, as the appealing taxpayer or the petitioner, it is your burden of proof to show by a preponderance of the evidence that that value is too high. And you do that by providing comparable sales data for other properties similar to yours, geographically, in character, etc., that show that change in value, that the value is different. And remember, the snapshot of time for your assessment was 1 January 2012. So any appraisal that you might have had that took place either well before or well after that 1 January 2012 date would have to be adjusted for time to make it a good argument in your favor. So, are you confused yet? It's a very interesting subject. It's kind of complicated to explain, but here's the bottom line. If you think the values on your tax statement, those values are off, talk with your realtor. Look at comps, again, comps that either are time trended or actually occurred somewhere around that 1 January date. Have your real estate professional help you with your appeal. They can do that. They can be there at your appeal if you appeal before the board and you come in. If you have a question and you don't have a realtor, call me. I would be happy to walk you through it. But the biggest piece of advice is if you have a question, call the assessor's office. They are a very reasonable bunch of folks. They want to help you find the right answer. They have done market research. They will do market research on your behalf to help everybody come to the right answer. So contact the county assessor. That's probably the first step. They may be able to simply stipulate and fix it with you right there, and you won't have to appeal. Okay, so let's move on. And I want to, assuming I can get the audio to work this morning, I want to play a clip for you from RE/MAX chairman and co-founder Dave Liniger. Last year, and I think I aired part of it on the show, Dave made some predictions for the 2012 housing market, and looking back, he said he was about 85% correct. Those are pretty good numbers. He released earlier this week his predictions for 2013, and I am going to try to play those for you now. So let's see if we can do that.
Everyone, Dave Liniger from RE/MAX here. I'd like to talk with you about the housing market and what we can expect to see in the new year. For the first time in a very long time, I'm very optimistic, and I think this market has more good news in store for all of us. 2012 saw sales and prices stabilize and rise in a broad recovery across the country. Some markets even saw double-digit increases. For many, this market presents the best opportunity they've ever seen to become a homeowner. The RE/MAX research team says my predictions were 85% on the mark last year. So let's get into the 2013 predictions and see if I can improve that rating. First, when the selling season starts this year, we'll see more home buyers and sellers enter the market due to a tremendous pent-up demand that's been building over the last few years. There's also an increasing household formation rate and higher costs to rent. That means there'll be a continuing period of sustainable growth with sales increasing by another 6 to 7% and prices growing at a rate of about 3 to 4%. Also stabilizing in 2013 will be the inventory of homes for sale. After months of falling, more homes will come on the market this year from homeowners whose equity has increased and lenders who are foreclosing more efficiently. But still, in popular price ranges, we'll see buyers turn to new construction where they can't be outbid by cash investors. And finally, we'll see higher priced homes start to sell. The trend began at the end of 2012 and should carry over into the new year. This means there's more confidence in the market and will result in a higher average price of sold homes. My fifth prediction is that the percentage of distressed properties will bottom out this year. We will be dealing with a significant number of distressed properties for a few more years, but the numbers should start retreating to more traditional levels in 2013. Shadow inventory is already down 12% from 2011 and will continue to improve. With rising prices, fewer homes are underwater, and as the foreclosure and short sale procedures improve, shadow inventory will become less of a concern. And that brings me to number 7, short sales. Because lenders and servicers worked hard to streamline the process, the number of short sales peaked in mid-2012. I have been hoping for this for quite some time, and largely due to the critical extension of the Debt Relief Act, we'll see short sales increase even more in 2013. This will be a godsend for millions of distressed families and will help them avoid foreclosure. My 8th prediction is that mortgage rates will remain near their historic lows. I don't think they can go much lower, but probably by the middle or end of the year may start to inch up just a bit higher. One negative prediction I have to make is that lending standards will not become much easier this year. Due to increased government regulation and the soon-to-be-established provisions of Dodd-Frank, lenders will be compelled to keep standards tight. This certainly restricts the market, but hopefully policies will become more reasonable in a year or two. And finally, my 10th prediction for the year is that due to low interest rates and reduced prices, home affordability will be very attractive throughout 2013. This will bring a lot of potential buyers to the market and could provide the best opportunity for home ownership they'll ever see. So there it is, my top 10 predictions for our housing market in 2013. For the most part, it's very good news, but there are still some concerns. This recovery will be a slow and steady one, and it is not completely on solid ground just yet. There are still concerns about unnecessary regulation, strict lending standards, and the overall economy. But if housing can stay on the road to recovery, it's possible that we can pull the rest of the economy along with us. Whatever your interest in real estate may be, a seller, a buyer, an investor, or an agent, I think 2013 could be the best year we've had in a very long time. I'm Dave Leniger, thanking you for watching and wishing you all a very happy new year.
And that was kind of that clip from Dave Leniger, the top 10 housing predictions. So now it's time for the Dave on Dave segment. my thoughts. And let me start out by saying I just attended earlier this week our RE/MAX Integrity, our franchise business meeting with our broker owner, Kevin Simran. And Kevin's going to be on the show here in February to talk about his feel on the market. He started off by saying that he's been waiting 5 years for this meeting because the last 5 years at each meeting he started with, well, it's been a tough year. Things aren't looking much better for next year. Well, this year he was finally able to say that here locally, the worst is behind us. Things are looking up. He gave some really amazing statistics about the market as a whole in 2012, where we as a local office in Lynn, Benton, and Lane counties were in comparison to the greater multiple listing service. On the whole, Kevin was extremely optimistic, and as well were the numbers from 2012 showing that things are clearly improving. For myself and for those of you who pay attention to the numbers each and every week, we can see that we are in a period of lower inventory, record low in some cases. Buyers are coming to the market. They are still very active, and I totally agree with what Mr. Liniger said about pent-up demand. It is there. There are a lot of people waiting to get back into the market. First-time home buyers, move-up buyers. Mr. Liniger suggests that these numbers will continue to increase. I absolutely agree. As the economy continues to improve and consumers become more and more confident, they will come to the housing market. Now, I personally have made a prediction that moving forward, there will be a small, maybe 18 to 24-month housing boom here locally. This is going to be the result of buyers coming to the market only to find low inventory, not enough houses for sale to meet that pent-up demand. With very little building projects going on currently in the Mid-Valley, there's a lag time that will exist as time it takes to build new inventory, and that's going to be a benefit to prices during that period. The period is actually starting now, in my estimation. We're seeing more multiple offers for nice, well-priced homes, and that's seemingly steady and likely to increase. Now, as builders start building, the danger in creating an oversupply, and since individual local builders don't consult with one another on these things, it's very likely there will be an oversupply, so that pricing strategy will see a correction down the road. So I have actually had questions from you in regard to lending standards, and Mr. Liniger addressed that in his segment. Somewhat out of my area of expertise, but I believe he mentioned the Dodd-Frank legislation as that's being implemented, starting to tighten some government standards as well. There is an overabundance of caution on the part of lenders and, frankly, appraisers. Maybe we need to get somebody in here to talk about that more in depth for you. So, again, his 10 predictions had to do with pent-up demand, home sales increasing in terms of volume 6 to 7%, in terms of prices 3 to 4%. There will be more homes on the market, and that's going to be as builders start to build and as sellers see that there is now an opportunity for them because they're no longer underwater. Let's see. Higher prices, sales of higher priced homes are going to continue and are starting to pick up. Two of the points he made, 5 and 7, fewer distressed properties, but more short sales. So I think he was referring specifically to distressed properties as foreclosures, as opposed to what I refer to distressed properties as both short sales and foreclosures. But he broke those two out. So less foreclosures, less shadow inventory. And again, in Oregon, we're kind of working through a different issue locally having to do with the robo-signing lawsuit and a shift to a judicial foreclosure process. So that may lag a little bit from Mr. Liniger's predictions here in Oregon. More short sales, again, because the fiscal cliff pass legislation extends the Mortgage Debt Relief Forgiveness Act for another year. I totally think we will see more short sales because it is still the right answer, or the best answer at least, for a lot of homeowners. But as homeowners become less underwater, that's also going to be a little bit easier to deal with. Low interest rates, I personally can't speak to that as it's not within my absolute bailiwick to tell you what the interest rates are going to be, but that's the sense that I get from talking to the lenders that I've spoken with. Lending standards, again, that was his negative prediction. Specifically, I have had questions about lending standards from people, and nobody is seeing those easing up in the very near term, but hopefully with pressure, they will continue to make more sense, okay? Not go crazy the other way, but become a little bit more sensible. And finally, it is at the best affordability in years. Remember, ideally in real estate, as in stocks, you want to buy low and sell high. So now represents an incredible opportunity to buy low because the market will appreciate over time. We are at just now coming off the bottom. Prices were up over the last year. Sales volume was up over the last year in every county. So things are improving. Now is a great opportunity. Housing is very affordable. Interest rates are very low. So there is some opportunity there. And when we talk in the market update in the next segment, you'll see that there's actually still some opportunities for sellers in a lot of price ranges around Lynn and Benton counties. So with all that said, let's take our last break, and then it'll be time for today's market update. This is Real Estate Talk on 1580 KGAL.
Going out to lunch at a nice restaurant can be expensive, and the big portions put you more in the mood for a nap than a productive afternoon. Mama's Fine Italian to the rescue. The small appetite senior menu is just right. Anyone and everyone is invited to order from the Light Appetites menu for lunch from 11 to 4 p.m. with tasty entrees beginning at only $3.95. Why go hungry or go anywhere else for lunch? Eat healthy, eat light at Mama's. Closed Sunday and Monday, so make the most of Tuesday through Friday and join your friends at Mama's for lunch. Dinner only on Saturday. Mama's features charbroiled steaks every day. Make reservations for dinner or pick up a bottle of fine wine. Seating is limited, so please call for reservations. 541-451-5050. That's 451-5050. Mama's Fine Italian and Wine Shop on West Oak between Main and 2nd in Lebanon, across from the Big Blue Napa Auto Parts Building.
Banking these days can be pretty impersonal. You've got your big banks, your internet banks, your do-it-yourself banks, and your too big to fail banks. That's why you might be interested in an alternative. Willamette Community Bank. Hello, this is Bill Higbee, residential lender. You deserve better service without sacrificing a thing. So if you're feeling underserved, make the switch to the best banking option out there with branches in Albany and Lebanon.
Willamette Community Bank. Service like no other. We promise. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
For too long, we've spent our weekends searching for the right tool when we should have been using the right tool. It's time to go to Ace. We'll find Craftsman tools the second we walk in. We can fix that wobbly table and still have time for televised sports. Get your weekend back.
Ace is the place for Craftsman tools.
And Economy Supply is your Ace place in the Mid-Valley to get them. Economy Supply Building and Contractor Center, where Highway 34 becomes Tangent Street in Lebanon.
Ace, the helpful place.
Join me, the M&M Kid Mike Mason, for a live remote broadcast during Truck Month from Mark Thomas Motors this Friday, 11 to 1 p.m. Great prizes and lots of special deals on the best cars and trucks on the road today. So join me, the M&M Kid Mike Mason, for a live remote broadcast during Truck Month from Mark Thomas Motors this Friday, 11 to 1 p.m. on K-Show Radio.
We know what you're looking for. Mark Thomas Motors, buy, pay more.
In the 39 Steps, our hero meets a woman with a thick accent who says she's a spy. When he takes her home, she is murdered. Soon, a mysterious organization called the 39 Steps is hot on our hero's trail in a nationwide manhunt that climaxes in a death-defying finale. With suspense, intrigue, and wildly inventive stagecraft, the 39 Steps amounts to an evening of pure pleasure. The Albany Civic Theater presents the 39 Steps, playing the 18th through the 2nd. Get your tickets now at Sid Stevens Jewelers in downtown Albany or Wine Styles in Corvallis. The 39 Steps, coming soon to the Albany Civic Theater.
Need a home? Then listen to Real Estate Talk with Dave Pautsch, Saturday mornings on Smart Talk 1580.
Welcome back to Real Estate Talk. This is the Thursday version today. We'll be rebroadcasting on Saturday morning in our regular time slot. It's time now for the Real Estate Market Update. We do this every week for you, and we'll begin in Corvallis, where inventory is down 7 from our previous report, today at 104 active listings. The average asking price in Corvallis is $362,417. With 105 homes sold in the last 90 days, that is a drop of 5 from last week. There's currently 2.97 months of inventory. And again, I find it striking when the number of active listings at 104, the number of sold listings in the last 90 days at 105, that's equilibrium that you don't often see. Corvallis is a screaming market. And let me point out, if you go to the Facebook fan page, I post the stats there, and one of the graphics that I post is sales by price category, and I calculate out months of inventory in that price category. So I'm looking right now on my computer screen at that graphic for this week, the stats that I posted this morning. In the price range below $150,000, Corvallis has 0 months of inventory, no active listings in that price category, 4 sold in the last 90 days. Under between $150,000 and $200,000, 8 active listings, 20 sold in the last 90 days for 1.2 months of inventory. Between $200,000 and $250,000, there are 22 active listings in Corvallis. 34 have sold in the last 90 days for 1.94 months of inventory. Are you getting the picture? If you are trying to sell a house in Corvallis below the $250,000 price point, there is less than 2 months of inventory available for you to buy. So the decision-making process, it's a little bit compressed. We're seeing lots of multiple offers in Corvallis area, and it's a great opportunity for sellers who are looking to sell. Again, a reminder, you can't overprice your home. Prices are not screaming up at this point, but if you're looking for an opportunity to sell in the Corvallis market and you are under $299,000, there's less than 3 months of inventory available. Price it right for the neighborhood, for the condition, it will sell. I'm almost like that guy on the Men's Warehouse commercial. I would almost guarantee it. Shifting to Lebanon, I'm sorry, I was not finished with Corvallis. I apologize. Median sold price in Corvallis over the last 90 days is up at $240,000, averaging $156.59 per square foot, and homes are spending an average of 114 days on the market from listing to close of sale. In Lebanon, 61 homes are available for sale. That is down 1. The median asking price is up at $152,900. Over the past 90 days, 44 homes have sold in Lebanon. That's even with last week. The median sold price, however, is down slightly today at $121,750. $88.25 per square foot is the average, and homes spend about 160 days on the market from listing to close. 4.16 months of inventory is available in Lebanon today. And again, under $150,000, going back to that graphic, there's like 2.55 months of inventory. 28 active listings, 33 have sold in the last 90 days. Above that price point, it's 6 months of inventory, pretty steady. And actually, there's 2 price categories where nothing has sold, and seemingly nothing has sold in those price categories in Lebanon in forever. And that's if you're priced between $2 and $250, or if you're priced above $3. Remember, we're only dealing with residential properties, not residential acreage properties. And the residential acreage properties in that price category have sold in the Lebanon area, just not the residential properties. So knowing where your opportunities are, where the thresholds are, where to price your home is key, and you can get that statistic or a sense of the market from looking at these absorption rate numbers. In Lebanon, again, 4.16 months of inventory overall. Finally, to Albany, where inventory is down, but still, it's down from last week, but it's still way down at 212 active listings. The average asking price is up at $193,955. 147 homes have sold in the last 90 days. That's down 4. The median sale price down slightly at $162,772. Homes are spending on average 137 days on the market from listing to close of sale, and the average dollar per square foot value is down just slightly at $102.96. 4.33 months of inventory is available. And in Albany, the best opportunities are really between $150,000 and $200,000 with 3.5 months of inventory. Under $150,000, a little over 4 months of inventory, and between $200,000 and $250,000, just over 4 months of inventory, 4.09. The real dead spot in Albany is above $300,000 with almost 14 months of inventory available. That's the market update for the 17th day of January 2013. If you're thinking about buying a home, Willamette Neighborhood Housing Services is a great resource. And again, if you want to take that class and you're not working with another agent, you're a KGAL listener, email me at realestatetalk@kgal.com. Let me know when you're attending, and I'll pay the course fee for you. If you have an idea for the show, send that into realestatetalk@kgal.com. You'll find us here every Saturday morning talking real estate, local issues, what's important to you. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. We're here on KGAL every Saturday, 1580 a.m., Lebanon, Albany, and Corvallis.
Mid-Valley home of Smart Talk. This is News Talk 1580 KGAL, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis.